So I am a regulatory scientist. So in the next 20 minutes, I'm gonna try to cover a lot of ground. But what I want to say is that when Ms. Plummer invited me to this, it was a no-brainer for me to come here, because arguably me coming here I think is more important than the things I do every day, because there aren't a lot of scientists of color. And so, you guys are in the third grade?
Yes.
Okay, so who knows? You guys should know this. What this sign means.
Oh.
What does that mean?
It means either greater or less.
Right. 10%.
Oh.
So I'm gonna write black/minority
What? What's minority? Oh, you don't know that.
STEM degree holders.
What? What's minority?
Who knows what STEM stands for?
Stamina? I don't know.
You guys don't know? Hello, and welcome back to Big Discussions. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar. I am the owner of this channel, and I am the founder of the Big Words blog site. The information for my blog is on the banner for this channel, as is all of my social media contact info. So please subscribe to the channel. I think I'm up to about 56 now, and the channel is steadily growing, and that's entirely dependent upon the support of you, the viewer. So please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. Please share it if you think it can help someone, and please interact and leave a comment in the comment section below. Today is June 25th, 2019, and we are just into summer officially. I wanted to record this short video about something I participated in about 2 to 3 weeks ago on one of my days off. So I got invited to a career day at a local school called Clinton Grove Elementary School. And so the name of this video is the importance of career day, particularly as a STEM professional, actually particularly as a black STEM professional. So someone I know contacted me and invited me to career day at Clinton Grove Elementary School, and I jumped at the opportunity. I've done several career days here in the DMV since I've been in my current career as a regulatory scientist, because it's something that I'm passionate about, particularly showing others how to get where I've gotten if they want to do the same thing. There aren't a lot of black STEM professionals relative to the other ethnic groups, and so I think it's very, very valuable to be present and to talk the talk and to show others that it can be done, and be an inspiration, and to be there to answer any questions that they have. And I think it's particularly important to go into neighborhoods where there aren't a lot of STEM professionals, such as in minority neighborhoods. I wrote a blog post a couple of years ago. I think it's called "Who Will Benefit from Apple's $350 billion investment?" And in that blog post, I basically made the argument that Apple is reinvesting in the United States, but only those individuals who are trained in science, technology, engineering and mathematics will benefit from their $350 $350 billion investment. I'm sorry. And so, going forward, the economy is going to reward those individuals who are trained in the STEMs. Apple, as an example, that's in the technology aspect, but there's also, there are also a lot of biotechnology companies. There are, there's talk of us going to Mars, so aerospace and astronomy and astrophysics. There's going to be a need for scientists there, and we're always looking to improve human health. So there's going to be a need for people trained in these areas, but the question is how to get people in. And so I'm very passionate about, showing kids from my background that they could do this too, and talking about what things they need to do to get into these fields. In the description box, I'm going to leave that blog post about Apple's $350 billion investment and who's going to benefit from it. I'm going to leave my video about my own start in science, and I'm going to leave, I think I'm going to leave an interview. I'll leave several interviews in there. I'll leave one that I did with a gentleman named Dr. Vernon Morris, who's a chemist at Howard University. He's very passionate about going into the DC schools and doing science experiments there. I'm going to leave an interview with Dr. Namandje Bumps, who was a colleague, or should I say, a fellow student at the University of Michigan when I was there, and she talked about how she got her start in science and what her family did to position her to go into her science career. And I'm going to leave those in the description box below. But, so, career day. I jumped at it because I feel like it's arguably more important than what I do at my 9 to 5. And what I do at my 9 to 5 is very important. But I think that, the question is, where will the next scientists come from? Specifically, where will the next scientists of color come from? And so I jumped at the opportunity, and I jump at the opportunity every time I get the chance to do something like this. And I would encourage you, if you're watching this and you're a black STEM professional, I would encourage you to do as many career days as you can, and also to go into those communities where there just aren't a lot of scientists. One of the things that I tried to tell the third grade class that I spoke to was that less than 10% of STEM degree holders are black. So I just wanted to try to plant that seed early on in their minds as they go forward in their careers. Because data shows that at some point, black students tend to cluster in the humanities. And there's nothing wrong with that if the humanities are what you're passionate about and what you're gifted at. But if you're just going over there because you don't feel like you can do any of the STEMs, then to me, that's a problem. So I visited 3 classrooms that day. I think I visited a second grade class and a third grade class and it was a first grade class, a second grade class, and a third grade class. And the first and second grade classes were pretty tame, and they were pretty impressed with my human torso model here, and my DNA, and my animal cell, and my plant cell, and my bacteria, and they were, pretty engaged, and they gathered around, and we talked about what a liver was, and what a kidney was, and what a pancreas is, and the heart has 4 chambers, and this is DNA, and we talked about those things. And We had a good time, and then the third grade class was the last class. That's the class that you saw me in the opening clip. They were a little older, a little more mature, and I'll just say that, a little older and a little more mature. And they had a lot of questions, and it got pretty interesting. I'll just say that. But you know, again, you just never know. Even when kids aren't paying attention, you just never know who you're touching and who's gonna remember you 10 years later, 20 years later. You know, when they're deciding to go to medical school or to get their own PhD, or when they're you know, going on to become an engineer. You just never know which one or how many you've actually inspired to embark on their own journey. One of the things I tried to tell the third grade class, because they were old enough to comprehend it, was that, and me and a colleague talked about this about a month ago, and that's that a science career, or should I say science training, is very valuable because it teaches you to do other things. Even if you don't stay in a science, you learn how to build things and how to create things and how to organize and plan and reason things out. So there's just a whole, and you learn so many skills when you pursue a STEM career, and I try to tell them that. So I received a bunch of letters here from Clinton Grove Elementary. I received these over the weekend, and it's good to see that some of the students, probably all the students, again, even though some of them seem disengaged at times, you never know who actually appreciates that you're there. But it was good to get these letters. This one says, "Dear Dr. Dunbar, thank you for taking time to teach us about your job. I am thankful to learn about what DNA means. I am happy." This one said, "Dear Dr. Dunbar, you are a cool science teacher. You are awesome. I like you as a friend." This one says, "I like how you showed us how the red and purple pattern goes around your back, and how the mouse is, and how and about drugs." So he was talking about basically the DNA double helix. So that was career day, and once again, if you're a STEM professional, particularly a minority, I would encourage you to go and do as many as you can, particularly in neighborhoods where there aren't a lot of us. When I rolled up to the school, there was a garbage truck there, and the kids were able to get in and honk the horn, and they really got a kick out of that. And off in the distance over here, there was a police officer there with a canine, so they were watching the dog run around. And every job and every career is important, and one is no better than the other, regardless of how much it pays or how much respect society gives it. But I think it's important to give exposure to all the possibilities so that young people can decide for themselves what they want to do, as opposed to going into a particular field just because that's all they've seen. You know, just because they've seen a basketball player and an entertainer and a musician. You know, there's so much more that they can do if they choose to do so. I think I try to tell the third graders that Robert F. Smith, the gentleman who relieved the loan burdens from Morehouse's 2019 graduating class, he was a chemical engineer by training, and he segued off into business. So, and that's the power, one of the powers of a STEM career and a STEM degree. So I'm going to stop this here, and oh, wait a minute. There is one more thing. This DNA, what do you guys singing there? Huh? What are you guys singing? So one of the other cool things about going out and doing a career day is that it gets you out of your bubble a little bit. So as you could see, as we were winding things down in the third grade class I visited, the students graced me with song. And you know, we had gone for, I think I was supposed to go for about 20 minutes, and we went over, and I was steadily talking and talking, trying to get my messages out. And you know, for third graders, you tend to want to keep them as active as possible. So some of them probably started getting fidgety, and they also had a dance that they were going to. And all of a sudden, I'm holding my DNA, and they break out into this song. And as you could see, I asked them what the song was, and it was a song called Old Town Road. So I have to be honest, I'm not up on every new song that's out there. I listen to what I listen to. I listen to all kinds of music, some classical, some old school hip hop and R&B, some rock, some electronic music, but I don't keep up on everything that's coming out. And so it turned out that there's this song called Old Town Road, and I was in a meeting earlier at my job, and so I just whipped out my phone and typed in Old Town Road, and this song by Lil Nas and Billy Ray Cyrus comes up. And I did remember hearing some controversy about some song or Lil Nas being accepted at the Country Music Awards for Old Town Road. So it's it's kind of cool to find out what else is out there. And when you go to career days, you find out what the kids are listening to and what the most up-to-date music is. So I want to thank that third grade class at Clinton Grove Elementary for that. And I am going to let them take us out with that song. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. This DNA, what are you guys singing there? Huh? What are you guys singing?
Old Town Road. Impossible, I'm going to take my horse to Old Town Road. Oh no. How did Okay, everybody be quiet now.
They started now.